right, meeting is now in session. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tara, roll call.
Kelly Campbell.
Here.
Councilmember Baki.
Here.
Councilmember Ring.
Here.
Councilmember Pringle. Here. Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Keith.
Here.
All right, everyone is present. All right, so we will start with well, we have communications first of all, but we don't have any presentations for tonight, so we'll go to public comment. We only have one person in the audience tonight, so I'm just gonna look over and see if you would like to address council. No? Okay, all right. So no additional public comment tonight. And it's that time of year again. We need to look at our president of council. Every year we elect the president of council. Kelly Campbell was the president for 2025 and I do believe for 2024 too as well. So as a group, you guys need to decide if you want to continue with Kelly and make that motion, or if somebody else is wanting to be president of council. Keep in mind that duty entails essentially if I'm not in town, I'm not for whatever reason able to fulfill my job duties, that's where the president of council really comes into play.
I make a motion, keep going.
Second.
Councilmember Ring made the motion for Councilmember Campbell to be president of council, and there was a second provided by Councilmember Baki. All right, any further discussion or anybody else? All right. And Kelly, you're okay to be president of council?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Pringle.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Keith.
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
Councilmember Baki.
Yes.
Councilmember Ring.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we will move along to our department reports and discussions. Let's see here. So it looks like first on our list would be some updates from the fire department. I don't see Chief Rocky here. Were you prepared, or is that no?
No, I don't really have anything.
Okay. So what I will say is I know that he was working to get some year-end numbers for you guys and to be able to run through those for you. So you see the summaries there, the calls per year, the different things that he's provided. So I'm sure since this is a work session, he plans to be at the next meeting, but certainly take a look at this, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, next up, reports or any discussion from the police department. Chief Enlow, anything from your chair? Okay. All right, Travis, utilities.
So, mostly just battling the White Death in all departments. We had a lot of long cold stretch with, we've had quite a few water main breaks as temperatures have been rising now, and street crews trying to get recovered from all the snow plowing and salting. We will probably have to see if we can get another order of salt in. We've used up most of our allotment for this year, as everybody has. So we're working with Morton Salt to get more salt. They've been doing some patching of potholes and repairing some of the cuts in the street from the water main breaks. So continue to do that. We did have the electric outage last week that we had to do. That was something that Jerry's very attentive to our substations. He checks these voltage regulators on probably a weekly basis, not daily, but he definitely has a regular check on those. He found the one voltage regulator that had failed, and as long as it was staying cold, he was checking it daily. Once he realized it was failed, it was staying within tolerance, but we had to replace it that day before it went up to 50 because as the load came down from the warmer temperatures, less furnace time required. So that would have spiked the voltage, and that would have damaged a lot of electronics, everybody's TV, everything through town, it would have been damaged. So, you know, it wasn't something that we just decided to do on a cold night, it was something we had to do before the temperatures rose. So they did work hard to be prepared so that when we cut the power, you know, they were able to switch everything over and had power back in like 45 minutes. So it was really impressive that they were able to get it done that quick. So, you know, I know it's never popular when we shut off power, but we did try to wait till a time that it wouldn't affect businesses and, you know, people could maybe go to bed a little early and sleep through it. So anyway, it worked and they were able to get that done. We were able to pull that from a substation that we're no longer actively using in town, so that saved us. We're going to ship the failed one out to get it rebuilt, and then we'll probably put it back into service. So he is also working to get items ordered for the streetscape, and you know, that'll be kicking off here in the next couple of months.
All right, and we certainly appreciate our utilities department. I appreciate the fact that they were out there in the cold replacing those parts, right? I know people are always concerned about how they're going to heat, you know, why we're shutting off in the winter time when there's an outage such as this. But I'm always thinking about them being out there trying to fix the lines. So we certainly appreciate them, and thank you, Travis. Does anybody have any questions for the utility department that Travis can address? All right.
And then for the park, we do have the playground equipment. It has been delivered, and we have ordered that the third round has been ordered, so we'll try to get that all installed at the same time with the central seating area for the adults, and then the toddler playground. And then once that's all installed, we'll get the sidewalks poured and have proper access.
Any additional questions? All right, if not, we will move along. And the first item on the list is the discussion of the property tax replacement. As you guys know, there's a lot of discussion around and circulation of doing away with taxes. So I know somebody brought up possibly having a discussion on this. What if that actually happened? So maybe first, Travis, I'm going to give us some insight.
So yeah, you know, the village we only have one property tax levy, and that's our fire levy. It's a 9.5 mil levy, and that's something that the residents of the village voted on, and it provides funding just for the village of Georgetown's fire department. So, you know, that's the benefit of local control. Certainly, I think there are some reforms that need to be made with property taxes, and I think they're looking at that at the state level as far as people who are retired and have their homes paid off. You know, maybe there's different ways that can be managed. But, you know, if we go down this road and there is a vote for the elimination of property taxes, the question is how do we replace that, you know, roughly $1.5 million that we have on our fire levy. You know, the only way that we could do it within the village would be to probably double our income tax, and that's the only other option that we have. You know, maybe the state would allow villages to do a sales tax, but certainly not enough sales revenue in the village of Georgetown to cover that type of a revenue stream. You know, the only other option would be I'm not even sure a countywide sales tax would fund all of the fire departments and other things that property taxes cover. So it would have to be a state issue. You know, if it was managed like the gas tax that covers streets, you know, I guess you could say that's effective. The problem is, throughout the state, there are many things that property taxes cover. Here, it's only fire, but many villages and municipalities have a police levy, they have park levies. So when that goes to the state and then it's divided up, will we all have to pay for everybody to have money for fire, money for police, money for parks, or will we just get eliminated from that pot of money that's being distributed to parks because we didn't have a property tax levy for a park? So I think that there's a lot to be figured out there, but one thing's for sure, we would lose control. Right now, we vote for levies that affect us. You know, once it goes to the state, we don't have that control. So I mean, I understand nobody likes to pay a property tax levy for forever. The good thing about an income tax, if you lose your job, you don't pay. If you switch to a job that pays less, your income tax is less. So hopefully reforms will be coming for property taxes, but it's a local controlled item. And Joe can add to that. You know, a lot of this is caused because of the state forcing these counties to increase the value of properties, which really didn't affect the amount that we receive because it's locked in for when that levy is passed, but I believe schools are exempt from that lock, so that's what caused the property taxes to increase.
Yeah, we don't see an increase even if property values go up. That's, from the date that we pass that levy.
So how long is that locked in for?
Ours, yeah, it's permanent,
That's
so
what I-
it's permanent at that rate.
Yes.
So over time, that'll decrease as far as the amount of millage we get because property taxes increase.
We're not the only community, obviously, that would be in this position. It's going to affect everyone. But I think Travis was right. We need to be looking at how this would dramatically impact our ability to provide all kinds of services to residents.
Any more discussion? Comments?
And this would be on if it's on the November ballot,
If they get enough signatures.
We gotta have 464 million or thousand or?
Yeah, and I'm not sure how close they are.
That's a statewide
It's a
number,
state.
isn't it?
Yeah, the state.
Yeah. How many counties is it? It's 40-some of the 88.
I think 44 of the 88, I believe, has.
That's what that's based on.
Yeah.
So would there be a thing where you could still, if you're in the village, you can still do the village tax, but just not the state property tax? Is that, or is it all or nothing?
No,
think so. I think
it's
it would
across the
be-
board. If they got rid of property tax, it would get rid of our levy. So it would be, because it would make it legal to have those taxes. So we would have to find another way to fund the fire department.
What about, that would eliminate the money going towards the schools and everything else, correct?
Yes, it would affect them as well. It would affect townships, villages, cities, and schools. So, yeah. And I don't know how the legislature would react to that. There's obviously other types of taxes. There's income tax, there's sales tax. I just don't know how the legislature would respond to that. But there would have to be a massive shortfall because I don't know how we would fund services.
Yeah, right now, a school district can run an income tax only when, there are conditions that
Correct.
have to be met. So a lot of school districts couldn't do that unless it's changed.
and they have to have that, is it 90 days before the general election, they have to have that turned in, so we would have an idea of
Sooner than
probably
that.
Yeah, I think it's probably July.
July. So we would have an idea of either we got a problem or we don't in July then, technically.
Yeah, I think just the best thing to do is to keep an eye on the news and stay informed about it. It will not affect the primary, but in the general election, it could be a reality.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
All right. Any other thoughts, feedback? Thank you. Continuing on the agenda, we have item 6.2, a resolution for us to discuss. Councilmember Campbell, can you read this by title?
Sure. A resolution authorizing the village administrator to apply for grass removal and assistance support and safety program for the state fiscal years of 2026 and 2027. Given consent of the village for the Ohio Department of Transportation to provide supplemental mowing, pruning, trimming, and/or cutting on the right-of-ways of the state highway roads within the village corporation limits.
All right, thank you. Travis, can you give us some insight here?
So yeah, as you know, there have been several attempts to get ODOT to take back control of maintenance of streets that go through municipalities, state highways that go through municipalities, and it's passed through the House each time, but it hasn't made it through the Senate. So this was kind of a separate compromise that was made, that they will kind of formally accept the mowing of state highways through villages. So that requires us to pass this. So we'll have to do this each year going forward if we want them to mow, which is mainly the state highway, the medians there on 68 that go through the village. It's not much mowing
Out
on,
that way.
yeah, not much mowing on 125.
Yeah.
Any questions? If this is something you would like to do, we would potentially entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Councilman Baki has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second provided by Councilman Jones. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Baki,
Yes.
Councilmember Ray,
Yes.
Councilmember Crandall,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keith.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item 6.3, we have an ordinance to look at here. Councilmember Campbell, can you read this by title?
Let me find it here. Ordinance authorizing the use of low-speed, underspeed, and utility vehicles and many trucks on public roadways within the village of Georgetown.
All right, thank you. As you guys recall, this is an ordinance that we've been working through the last couple of meetings, working with Chief Enlow and providing, as well with our solicitor, providing some insight. So this would be the first reading, so we would not be voting on this tonight, but this would be us essentially, if we decide to do it at the next meeting and pass it, where people could use the UTVs as defined in the ordinance on the public roadways within the village. Chief Enlow, anything to add to that?
No, not anything that we've already talked about. I know that we worked out an inspection process and procedure was passed, and we would just basically emulate what the DMV already has set forth on what is roadworthy.
And you're doing that here, like you guys are?
Yes.
Are there any questions?
I get Sean, would they just call your department then to schedule time to meet with an officer to get that?
Yeah,
Get that inspected.
we've actually done it before just as a courtesy. It's not very common, but we've done a couple, and it's a standardized sheet from the DMV, and it's just a police officer authorizing that they viewed the turn signals, brakes, braking systems, everything that's required.
Okay.
We sign it and then just take it up to the DMV tags.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we've come up with some type of procedure for that when we do.
And are they allowed to ride on 125 right through our village, or do they cannot?
Yeah, so we talked about that last meeting, and I wasn't sure what we ended up coming out about that. I felt like that we were, based on stuff that I looked at. If you were junctioning from a road to another road, you could access that, just like crossing 68, you can cross 68, but you can't ride down 68. So like if you was coming off of 221, to my knowledge, and Joe will know this better than me, if you were coming off 221, you could take that route to Main Street.
Yeah, the way the ordinance reads, it says you can cross at an intersection to traverse to a different village street or to access a closed local street or alleyway. So you can, it uses the term closest, which is what we talked about at the last meeting, how you gotta do the quickest route or whatever. So you can cross over or go on it just to access kind of maybe a zigzag to do that. So that's what it would allow. The other thing I talked with Chief Enlow about is that the statute gives you the authority to allow for these vehicles on roads that don't have a speed greater than 35 miles per hour. My research showed that most people limited it to 25 miles per hour roads, but you know, whatever you wanna do is what, the way it reads right now, it's 35 miles an hour. So you have the ability to decide if you want that to be on roads that are 25 or roads that are 35. And, you know, that can be adjusted if that's what you all would decide to do. I think Chief Inlow has recommended 35 miles an hour, and I'm guessing that's because he knows the speed of roads through the village and the most routes I think that people would take. You know.
Because if you had dinner at Pizza Hut and then decided to go get a milkshake at UDF and you stayed on 125, you would, as long as it's 35 through there, then you could travel down 125. Because it's not greater than 35.
So the way the statute would say, if there's not a way to get to UDF from Pizza Hut, I'm thinking about whether or not if you came down maybe Home Street, if that's,
Right. We want them to go down Home Street and go around.
that would be the better way to do it.
Opposed to staying, yeah.
Yeah. Do I think, as a practical matter, if someone did that, are they gonna run into a problem? I think then you gotta divert that question to Chief Inlow. I don't expect our officer to create a problem, but the OSP could potentially say, hey, we don't like that.
Any additional questions or thoughts?
Yep. I do.
Go right ahead.
The ordinance, the requirements on the equipment that's in the ordinance does not match what's on the inspection from the Ohio Department of Public Safety.
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
The ordinance under equipment, you have 11 items listed,
That comes from the statute, okay.
but those items are not listed on the inspection sheet from Public Safety.
Let's see what brake lights. So these come from the statute, but I can check that and see if we need to tailor that to be the same as this sheet. I had not seen this sheet, so I'll cross-check that. You added some things in
Those
writing.
are notes, those are the differences.
Okay, those are the three that were different, the horn, the license plate lights, and the seatbelts?
Correct. Those
Okay,
are on the form, but they're in the ordinance.
okay.
And then where do the penalties that are in the ordinance come from?
So that's something that we set, meaning you, the village sets. So those can be adjusted.
When do we do that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. As part of our discussion, if you decide you don't think it should be a minor misdemeanor, it can be something different.
Okay.
It could also be what's known as an unclassified misdemeanor, which would mean that it's not a minor misdemeanor, it's not a first, second, third, fourth degree misdemeanor. It's just something that the magistrate would have the discretion of a fine between $0 and $1,000. So a minor misdemeanor would be limited to $150, which is how it reads right now. And then it says if you have a previous violation, then it would be an M4. And the only difference there is that, and then ultimately if you had two, this is your third, then it would be an M3. The difference is just higher fines. But yeah, you have the power to adjust that as a council, if you think that's too low or you think that's too high.
So if we did an unclassified, right, and the magistrate then would decide 0 to 1,000, right? They would also know the repeat offenders in which they could technically charge more as they would see them.
Right.
Instead of something being classified as such, right?
The way I drafted it is I started at the very smallest offense, generally assuming that if someone's in violation, I mean, the officers still always have the discretion to give a warning, but I'm assuming if they write a ticket that there's a violation there and, you know, they'll give them some grace and do a minor misdemeanor. We don't have to draft it that way. So I think Jeremy's correct. You could also take the route that he's talking about where if you did an unclassified misdemeanor, it would simply put that discretion into the hands of the magistrate from 0 to 1,000.
And that would take it off of the officers, where people were screaming at the officer for whatever reason, you know what I mean? Like maybe, or, I don't know how many people are gonna get belligerent, but I would say that's maybe one less thing that the officers wanna deal with on a daily basis of pulling somebody over.
Yeah, and I'll defer obviously to the chief and council. We can draft this anyway.
Chief, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, without recreating the ball, I mean, I feel like you should just emulate whatever's already there. So like if a seatbelt violation for a vehicle is a certain classification, that should be the same thing for the UTV. UTVs, we're not doing anything different other than they're basically a car with the same exact things that our personal cars have to have. It's just allowing us to operate it on the roadways. My personal opinion would be whatever a seatbelt classification would be, that would be it.
Which is
Same
it.
with not using a turn signal, same with speed. I mean, but that's just me.
That would make it easier for the officers, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll make any difference as far as the classification, if they're mad at us or not. They're usually mad at us anyway, so it just depends.
The only problem I see with it is under 9, or not 9, where it said, where it goes.
7.
So it says nothing about, oh, it must be on my news. It doesn't say anything about a wiper, windshield wiper. Correct? Because there was some ordinances, I think Ripley had one, and people, I mean, they're licensed in golf carts and you can't, they don't have wipers, so I just wanted to clarify, but I don't see a wiper on this one, so.
Yeah, I can look at that. I don't know, to your point, Jessica, where that list came from, whether.
That's
it was in-
probably the B and V form.
That's what I'm guessing.
The B and V form requires that, but you also, like he said, you can add or take
Mhm.
away what you want. Like if you wanted to require stricter requirements, you can. And maybe that's what Ripley did, but I do believe the B and V form has to have a windshield and wiper from
Right.
signal brakes.
Yeah, because on your form that you got from here, this just simply states windshield. So, but yeah, you have the discretion. That's what's nice about under home rule, you can create your own legislation. You have the ability to craft it. That's why we're kind of having the discussion, but yeah, we can adjust that. And if you would rather maybe individually reach out to either Travis or the chief or myself, we could tinker with that between now and the next meeting. Would you like us to take a look at some other ordinances and see if they've got more or less or anything?
I think that would be a great idea.
Okay. Because I clearly got that. It does say operational horn, but I don't know where that list came from as I'm sitting
Well,
here.
I've made several street legals over the years, and most of that's just a kit. So when you buy the kit, it comes with a little pad that you bolt onto your brake pedal, and it illuminates the back light. And it has a license plate light, a horn, turn signal brackets. It has all that with it, so it's kind of it's a pretty simple kit nowadays.
Why don't I work with Chief Inlow and we'll tailor that down a little bit. Are you wanting it to be a little more restrictive or a little less? Do you have a preference on that?
I personally think it should be a little less.
Okay.
And my other question is, how are we going to implement this? The people that have been driving their golf carts or whatever it is around town for, they've lived here all their lives, they've been doing it all these years. How are we gonna let the community know that we are implementing this ordinance? And do you think, are you going to allow, I guess a little bit of grace, like your first time you get pulled over, you give them a warning and say, hey, you need to get this done?
Yeah, our whole implementation of this isn't to punish people or even teach them. We're just wanting to start it out and give it as a benefit. My biggest thing is I didn't want to do something that allowed the police to do something that the citizens couldn't do. And that's why I wanted to share it with everybody. But as far as getting it out there, obviously we use social media and all of our platforms to push the requirements and the rules and the inspections. But to get a tag, to get an actual license plate for these, you have to do the B&V form. So that's not even part of us. When we do that inspection form that inspects all those criteria, they have to take that. I'm assuming that's it. Yeah, they take that to the B&V with their title, and they actually get a license plate that looks just like a car license plate. So they have to have that anyway.
I guess my concern is the people that will use golf carts. They got a golf cart from, their uncle, they don't have a title. Not your problem, I understand that. But they're gonna have to go through the process of hunting down the title, going through that process to even get a license plate. I mean, that's,
Right.
I guess, my concern, is looking out for those people, like, they're gonna have to do extra work.
Sure, and maybe that's a question you can ask. Do they, with this resolution or ordinance being passed, do they even need to have an actual license plate, or is the inspection sticker good enough?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not sure that they do.
Is that something that we could, you know, one of those home rule advantages that we could say, as long as they have the sticker?
Yeah, it says the ordinance reads that you simply have to have a license, valid driver's license, and be 16 years of age.
What do you guys call them sticker? I'm confused.
So well, you have to get it inspected.
There's an
Yeah.
inspection sticker.
This
That's
does,
something-
yeah, this
That's
does,
something we would do. yeah.
this
We
does
would-
not say right now that I see where they need a plate.
But maybe looking at other
You
ordinances.
do need a title though, you're right about that. It does say the certificate.
Is that ORC or is that something that we could remove the title?
Well, really what it says is you should. This allows you to get a title, is what this does. It doesn't say anything on a plate though. Because it does require you to have title, to be able to prove that it's yours and not stolen or someone else's. Oh, and it does say in a valid plate bracketed to the rear of the vehicle. We probably need to check that, but I can tell you these other ordinances are including that requirement, so that's gotta be a BMV requirement.
Yeah.
Because my guess is they want their fee for those vehicles.
We had this in Bethel for years, but I don't recall the plate part of the
Yeah,
title.
we'll check on that as well for our next discussion. I'll make a note of that.
No, I mean, I'm all for safety and having your
Yeah.
lights and all of that, I just think. So it could be a long drawn out process for some people.
Yeah.
Especially for the older golf carts that are out there. I mean, a lot of these new UTVs, I mean, they're
Yeah,
a little fancy, they're already up to speed on that,
Yeah.
where some of your golf carts are not. And that would be a lot of work to get that.
Yeah, it does say, let me just cross-check it. I don't like to rely on quick searches, but it does appear the Ohio BMV regulations require that you have a plate in order to be deemed street legal for inspection. So I think that may be out of our hands, but I will definitely check it.
All right,
Question. The part about the seatbelt, if it has, can it be a modified seatbelt?
Yeah, I don't think it would have to be a state legal seatbelt, just so if there's a seatbelt in the vehicle.
Okay, because I mean, several years ago, I had a 2-seat go-kart for my kids, and it did not have a seatbelt, and they rolled it in the first 15 minutes that they had it. Well, I went to the junkyard and got a seatbelt and put it across there, and they rode with the seatbelt from that point on. So, okay.
And your golf cart might only have a lap belt and not, it won't have the shoulder harness part.
Yeah, and
I
some,
told them.
How far does the seat belt, how far is it gonna go?
well, so no, a lot of it, depending on what the way the law reads, but even with hot rods, like when you get back into the prehistoric cars, those don't even require seatbelts. So you can actually operate those street legal, and because they were built before seatbelts were a law, you could operate them without. As long as it has some type of safety device that holds you in, just like adding the turn signals on, those weren't added by the factory, those were added by the user. So I think as long as it had some type of safety harness that kept you locked in, you would be good.
okay. Other questions? All right, so it sounds like Joe and Travis are gonna do a little more research on some other ordinances that are out there currently. And then we will bring this back to council next meeting and potentially for a second reading and a vote. So keep that in mind too as well. If you have any questions or specific items you want addressed in the ordinance, please, for each of you, reach out to Travis and he'll work with Joe for you. All right, moving along, guys. We are on at 6.4 with another resolution, and Councilmember Campbell, if you could read,
I get 1 second.
do you,
This thing went to
want mine?
Mayor and Mayor. I can just read off Jessica's.
Pass yours down and I'll hand it to Travis. And for those of you that are viewing from home, we did get new software. If you notice that our agenda looks different, we upgraded and have software that's gonna really keep track of items as we go forward, which is something that we manually had to track. So this way we fully expect that nothing gets lost in the shuffle, right? That's our goal. So if you see it's a little bit slower tonight, that's why. All right, Councilmember Campbell, on you.
Okay. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Lewis Township, Brown County, Ohio for divisions of fire and EMS services.
All right, so item 6.4 is the resolution. This is a standard or typical contract that we do each year. We have multiple townships that we contract with for their service of their township. So for fire and EMS, we contract with Lewis Township. In return, they don't have to have the station, the fire trucks, the ambulance, whatever it is. We provide that service and they pay us a fee. So that's the long and short of it, but are there any questions?
Is the fee worthwhile, I would say, because we're using our equipment and such, and
Yes, so that's something that we've been working really hard on the last few years is shoring up some of these contracts because there were a couple that I do firmly believe we weren't being paid our fair share. So when each of them come due, we have some long conversations about it. Also, Chief Rocky and or myself have met with the trustees on most of the townships as well. There's a couple more coming up that we're going to negotiate harder on to get more money. The other thing to remember too as well is that we also ask of these townships from time to time to help with purchases that we're doing. So for example, if you guys recall, we put the new generator, is that what it's, the generator at the firehouse? The backup generator. And so when we did that, that was a fairly large project and we asked for money from the township. So don't let it get beyond you that we just do this and that's it. We understand that it's a tax on our equipment, people, it's a strain. So when there are things that come along or things that we need for the department, we're not afraid to ask. Does that answer your question?
yeah, thank you.
Other questions? All right, if not, we will entertain a motion when ready.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Councilmember Jones has properly made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Pringle has provided the second. Tara, when ready, roll call, please.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Baki,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keith.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, and that's resolution number, one second, guys. Again, we're still getting used to our new resources here. One moment, guys.
It's gonna be 1434, 1434, and then the ODOT resolution was 1433, 1433.
So the ODOT prior to this one, what was it, 1433?
Yeah,
And then the current one that we're on for the Lewis Township contract was
1434.
1434. Everybody got that? All right. Okay, we are continuing along. It looks like we've also been provided our 2026 council meeting dates for the year. So take a look at that. I don't believe we need any type of motion, do we? That is just for your benefit. Our meetings happen on the second and fourth Thursday of each month if you're just learning that cadence. So we do our meetings at 6 o'clock. That's a little different than a couple years ago where we are a little later in time. We moved that time back, so all of our meetings happen at 6 p.m. All right, so that document's in there as well. And then it looks like we have set the village-wide yard sales once again. So inside of the packet again. The dates are there for that. Let me take a look at that. Do we need a motion? Joe?
On the yard sale dates?
Yes.
Do we typically adopt
We
those or do
typically do.
administratively? We do?
We typically
Okay, then
do.
let's go a motion.
Okay, so the yard sale dates, it looks like they are going to be the first full weekend. Is that full weekend?
Yeah, but it's the first day of the month is on a Saturday, then that is the weekend. That's what the ordinance says.
Okay, all right. So pretty much it's going to happen each weekend from April to September, and fairly. Or more so happens at the beginning of the month, if you will. A couple of the dates actually encompass the end of the previous month. So if you would like a copy of this, if you're at home listening and would like a copy of this, certainly reach out to the village office and we'll get you that copy. I'm sure we will also post on social media, but we do realize not everybody has social media, so certainly reach out, and we'll also do a phone call as the time gets closer. Having said that, we do typically pass this with a motion, so we need a simple motion if you so wish to do this, to accept these yard sale dates for 2026.
I would make a motion to accept the yard sale date
For 2026. Councilmember Campbell has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second provided by Councilmember Jones. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Coffey,
Yes.
Councilmember Ray,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keith,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, guys.
What's the fee for a permit? $5?
One second. All right, guys. I too am really trying to adjust to this great technology that our great administrator brought. I love it. I really do like it. I'm just being funny. I really do like it. All right. We are on item 7, and we'll start with 7.1, which is your fiscal officer report, bank reconciliation, the payment listing, and the summary by funds. So each report is itemized there. You can click on it and get to the report. Take a look at that. And I'll give you guys just a couple extra minutes. I see some technical difficulty up here, so that way you guys can scan those if you haven't done so already. Do you want mine, Kelly, for a second?
Didn't come.
I think yours just did too. Mine
All right, so again,
Put him down
7,
here next meeting.
what'd you say?
Right to put him down here next meeting.
Good, move seats.
We're all gonna be around there.
All right, so again, take a look at those reports. If there are questions, again, I'll slow it down for just a second so you guys have a minute to look at them. Councilmember Keefe, I know you're newer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Happy to explain any questions that you might have. Payment listing is essentially who we're paying each month, or whatever dates he puts in there, typically in the month, but those are payments going out. Fund summary report, or I'm sorry, cash summary report is just that. It's the summation of the different funds that we have, giving you a kind of a snapshot look at those.
One question,
Sure.
payment listing, 52169.
You got that pulled there. Sure.
Mine's like freaking out.
52169.
You said
Okay.
payment listing, right?
Yeah.
Doppler, that is our,
I know.
that's our after hours call software, but that is, we asked them to defer last year's cost and this year's together so that we can include it in this year's budget. So,
So we're essentially paying 2 years?
yes.
Okay.
And are you guys aware of what that is?
So that's our after-hours call management. When we have a water leak or a power outage, we have it's set up through our phone system, so when they call in, they press 2, it goes to a live person who has a knowledge of utilities. They take the call, the person can then create an account, like send pictures of what the issue is so that we can evaluate that even before we're on scene. It tracks the progress of the repair, and then it also allows us to send notifications out to people who are affected by whether it's water main break or power outage. We can zero in. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, if we have a boil advisory, it just goes to the people who need to know. It's not the one call that goes to everybody in town who maybe don't care at that point. But so there are a lot of benefits, and they're still working on expanding what they can do. They've been great to work with. Whenever we have an issue, they're right on it. So we were able to use that for our last boil advisory to notify just those affected when it was time to stop with the boiling. So it's a great tool for me to be able to see too, so that I know when an issue pops up. I know when our employees respond. I know when it's completed. It's very beneficial.
So, and I think that's important for the people that are watching from home to understand too as well, that if your water is not working, if you wake up and you have no electricity, and you want to report it and it's after hours, I see a lot of commentary on social media of, I think they're using social media for somebody to pick up and see that they have no water. You simply just call our village office and it'll prompt you and walk you through to get to the third party that will initiate a work order essentially and get somebody out to your house. So
Where's the third party located?
It's American. You're talking to an American.
That's a plus. I mean, English language is a plus.
all right, any other questions on the fiscal summary? If not, we'll move along to 7.2, and you'll see on there too as well your mayor's court report. Mayor's court is definitely trending up and has been for quite some time. They're very busy. We did go back to every 3 weeks, I believe, that we're holding a mayor's court, where we had changed that. We had initially kind of slowed it down a little bit in an effort to kind of, I guess, save money, if you will, from what we pay for magistrate and different things. But then we quickly realized that we gotta have this more often to keep up with the volume. So yeah, that you'll see the spike there for sure. You'll also see 7.3 is your zoning report. So Mike Click has provided a report on what he's been working on here recently. All right, any questions on any of those items?
Has the going to the every 3 weeks for mayor's court, has that helped with congestion
Yeah.
in the lobby?
Yeah, it's helped quite a bit. We've been moving the chairs and stuff out there too to kind of help with seating, and the new magistrate is really good at trying to get them in all at once and get them out. So we're working through all that to make it better.
Good. All right. We go through roundtable now first before executive session. Thomas.
It's up to you if you don't want to. But.
So we have an executive session tonight, guys. It might be pretty lengthy. Do you prefer to go through roundtable first and then go into executive session?
Yeah, let's just get everything out of the way.
Go through roundtable. Okay. All right. I will start with Councilmember Bakke. Do you have anything for the group tonight?
Just a couple brief things. It's already been said, but thank you to the water, electric, and street departments. They've had a rough month, but have worked hard and did a really nice job on all the projects. We definitely appreciate them. Secondly, I know the mayor, administrator, a couple other council members were able to go out to Walden Electronics a few weeks back at their 50th anniversary, so appreciated them inviting us out and what they're bringing to our community. I think they've 60 jobs, I think, was what they'd said within the 5 years. So we greatly appreciate them. And then just one small thing, Travis, I know you mentioned potholes, and it's not great weather for that right now, but on East State Street, in the westbound lane, it's right between where you pull out of CVS and pull into St. George. There's a pretty good size pothole right there.
Okay.
And that was all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Campbell.
Just saying, echoing all the crews in the village, we appreciate you. I know firsthand how hard it is to mess with the snow. And then, you have the water main breaks, they never end this time of year. Thanks to that crew, Jerry's crew, for the outage. And, thank our local male men and women after Trump through all this stuff too, man. I feel bad for them, they do a great job, so that's all I have.
Yeah, I can echo the male men and women as well. That's horrible conditions to have to be out in. All right, thank you. Councilmember Jones.
Couple things. I noticed on the courthouse, I would assume that we take care of the lighting, but on the courthouse, the left light is flickering, constantly. Cause I would assume it's a bad bulb, but I want to bring that to the attention. Wasn't sure if y'all got a call about that or not, but
Do
I
we
saw
take
that.
care of it?
Is it a street light?
No, it was actually the light mounted onto the courthouse. on the
Courthouse,
back.
that would not be, that would be.
That's not us, okay.
But we can probably send the message
Yeah.
to, we know who to message that to.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. Anything else?
The other thing that I had is just more of a question, really. I know with the temperatures being as low as they were, and I'm sure folks probably had to run wire or whatever they had to do to make sure their pipes didn't freeze. Is there any way we can look at, or something we could do to kind of give a little bit of relief to the village residents on something, on their power, on their bill, or something like that? I don't know. I'm new, but I've not really heard or seen anything like that. Doesn't mean we can't, but just a thought.
Travis?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we would have to adopt a policy to calculate that. It's not something that we have in place, I'm sure, but it's something that we could explore. Typically, a drip doesn't affect too much of a water bill, but yeah.
There was a day and a time when we did a discount around Christmas. Typically kind of in the sense of people are putting up lights and decorating our village, and it's something that we can give back. I don't recall what that was, but I also don't know the financial impact of that either, and that's probably more toward Travis's chair to really, I mean, if that were something that this council was truly interested in, I'm sure Travis could figure out the financial.
Yeah, we can look into it. I can talk to the clerks and see what their thoughts are.
That's it. Thank you.
Maybe we add that as an item next month to just come back to and speak through. All right, anything else? Councilmember Keith.
I don't really have anything other than I liked, Councilmember Jones's comments and bringing up the property tax situation, because for everyone listening at home, I just feel like it's a state thing. It's out of the hands, particularly of the council, and I just wouldn't want people to. I just want them to know that we have to work to follow what they're doing first to combat what's happening. That, our village is gonna have to work hard to keep things affordable for everyone here because of what the state's deciding to do. So I just know that I would want them to know that the village is working hard to
Get ahead of it.
try to keep ahead of that, because that's gonna be rough. And there's a lot of people out there that are gonna be affected, so
Yes,
it's gonna be a
definitely.
difficult process to get through for the next 6 months or whenever we're gonna vote on it, so.
And then if that were to happen, then we have to implement. And I think that's the thing in the whole concept of the property taxes, and I heard Travis say it before, is that yes, there's probably reform that needs to be done with the property taxes. But at the end of the day, getting rid of the property taxes isn't going to be the fix. The money's still going to come from somewhere. So when it's, it's going to be added to whether it's a sales tax or wherever it's chosen to come from. We're really not getting out of the money that's being spent, unfortunately. So I think that's the bigger thing. So we've got to stay ahead of it as as leadership for this village to know, what angle we take, because for goodness sakes, we absolutely need fire and EMS, so we've gotta figure that out.
We've gotta figure out a way to be prepared,
Yep,
Yeah.
whatever the answer is.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, anything else, Councilmember Keith?
No.
Good, all right. Councilmember Pringle?
I just wanted to thank the fire department. There was a gas leak on East Grant the other day. Gutter fell off, hit the gas meter. Gas was just flowing. So thank you to them for coming out and saving the day. And then I was hoping perhaps we could post on our Facebook page about how to sign up for One Call. Maybe put it on the utility bills next month or however that goes. And then also, can we cross share like the police department's Facebook page on the village Facebook page?
Like just share it.
Yeah. So,
You mean automatically, like,
well, no,
Is there-
like
Like once they post something, then we on village post, like reshare it.
maybe, or just, I personally, I just did look for the village, but I'm sure the police department posts other things, just to make sure that people are following both pages.
Would it be, would it still pop up in their feed if they tagged Georgetown in it? Like village of Georgetown?
I don't know, that's why I'm leaving it to someone, yeah.
We'll look into it. I mean, maybe they just need to notify us when they post something that's worthy of going on the main page.
Well, not even like you have to post everything they post, but just like, oh hey, the Georgetown Police Department has a Facebook page, give them a follow.
yeah. Same with utilities, the utilities department has a page, the fire department has a page.
Yeah, I think we should share all of the pages so people are following all of them to keep informed.
And I do think it's a good idea for the One Call, so people know how to sign up for that, to continue to do those reminders. I think that's important.
That was all.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Ring.
I touched base with Carol Donahue, the wife of Jeff, and she's getting me some information, family history, so we should have that hopefully by the next meeting, so we can start looking at. And she was wondering when we were going to do something, and I said, it's well off into the future because we want to get a look at what they have and make something that, or make a decision on something that's proper. So
Good.
that's where we're at.
Sounds good, thank you. All right, Chief Enlow, anything additional for tonight?
No, I don't have anything there.
Thank you. And Solicitor, anything for the group tonight?
Not tonight.
Administrators report?
I don't think I have anything either.
All right. And again, I will just echo my sincere thank you to our street department, our water department, our electric department. Truly, everybody's been hands-on, jumping in with the snow, with the electric outage, with frozen pipes. I know they're helping people with that, getting called out for that. We certainly appreciate it, and certainly thanks for what you're doing, by all means. All right, and actually I'll pause for just a moment. We had a gentleman come in late, and we typically do public comment in the beginning, but I'm more than happy to give you your time. We do 5 minutes if you're interested in addressing this council. And if so, would you just mind before you start talking, just to let the viewers at home know your name?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's my name's Steve Paul. I live at 315 South Water Street.
Okay.
And no, I just coming in to see the meeting, see how everything, see you, Joe, for one thing. We'll talk about this next week. And just wanted to share my thought. And appreciate you, Kelly. Thank you for, we have a business outside of town. And you helped us out over there. You don't know you did, but you did. But thank you. Thank you, sir, for all the safety we've got here. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I just want to come in and see everybody.
Well,
That's all it was about.
We love having people show
I
up
know,
for
you need
meetings.
more, need some more people in here. You had two more, but there's a funeral over there, so everybody's, some of the people.
Makes sense, makes sense.
But nice meeting y'all.
Nice meeting you too, thank you, and please come back.
I will, I sure
Please do. All right, so that takes care of most of the agenda, except for we do have an executive session tonight. So we will need a motion to go into our executive session. For those at home, this probably could take a good 15 to 30 minutes, if not longer. From a timeline standpoint, and for those in our audience too as well, could be a little bit that we're away, but with that said, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Can you read it?
It's just number 9 in bold.
Number 9.
I make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G2 to discuss the sale of other disposition of property, and 121.22G3 to conference with counsel concerning disputes with the public body that are subject of pending or imminent court action.
All right, Councilmember Ring has properly made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second provided by Councilmember Campbell. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Baki,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Teeth,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. So we are going, we better,
Do we need the screen for anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
do we want to stay in here? So we're good? So we're gonna stay in here, which, for the two of you that are in our audience, we will have to ask that you step out. There are chairs in the hallway out there, and then,
Thank you.
and so you're gonna sync up?
Just take a second. Yeah. Thank you.
There's a motion.
Thank you.
Yes, please
Good to
stop.
see you.